Welcome to the refrigerator. This is a build created by Pqtion, and it's a frosty twist on the popular Flame Dancer build. And I must say, this build is no joke. This build was made specifically for version 3.1.7, so if you're using a different version and things aren't working quite right, please don't panic or comment that it's broken. Balancing changes happen, and its updated builds are always posted in the Luna Pixel Studios Discord. This build brings powerful spellcasting and on-hit damage alongside a modest boost to survivability. You'll be chillin' and killin' in snow time. That said, you're still a mage, you're a glass cannon. Don't expect to face tank mythic bosses or survive one-shots just because you've got frost armor on. Now let's break the ice. With 600 plus DPS, the cold never bothered me anyway, but it's definitely going to be bothering my enemies. I know, my puns are almost as bad as your DPS right now, but with this build, we can probably change that. To get started, you'll need to craft the spellbook Frost Techniques, which requires 3 components: a Tome of Frost, a Rogue Handbook, and a Frost Rune. To craft the Tome of Frost at a spellbinding table surrounded by 18 vanilla bookshelves, you're going to use lapis and a book for both the Tome of Frost and the Rogue Handbook. The Frost Rune is crafted with a snowball and a stone. And while you can use the crafting table to make runes, the rune crafting table will give you twice as many runes for your materials. As a bonus, you can even buy runes from the wizard merchant who uses the rune crafting altar as his station. After you make all 3 of these items, you'll place them in a smithing table to combine them. Once you craft it in the smithing table, it has to go back into your spellbinding table. And you're going to need some lapis to learn each of the 4 spells that will become a huge part of your spell rotation: Frost Overdrive, Riptide, Massacre, and Blade Flurry. These spells will make up the foundation of your spell rotation. But don't worry if you're not sure how to use them just yet. I'll be walking you through the full ability rotation at the end of the video, so stick around and you'll see exactly how to make the most of them in combat. Now we have to discuss armor. Your gear will be the Frost Robe set: bottom, boots, and top. Reroll stats until they're solid, then upgrade to netherite for durability. For the helmet slot, you've got 2 options: a Mage Seeker hat for more damage, or a netherite frost hat for more enchant compatibility and slots. Next, for the trim, you'll want diamond. Diamond trim adds survivability, and you'll be up close and personal with all of the bosses, so you'll need all you can get. You can get style points for using frost armor trim smithing templates to make your armor extra frosty. For entrance, you'll want Soul Frost 5, Amplify Spell 3, Magic Protection 5, and Spell Volatility 2 on every piece of armor you can. Note, Soul Frost won't work on the Mage Seeker hat, but will apply to the Netherite Frost hat. So make sure you apply it. If you don't have hardening catalysts yet, remember to toss mending on your gear to keep it functional. You will need to apply Multi-Roll 6 and Ether Infusion to your hat. The top gets the Zal Necklace infusion. Simply infuse it in the smithing table with a Zal Necklace and a Corruption template. The robe bottom should have Acrobat 9 and Zal Necklace infusion as well. And the boots need Long-Footed 7, Zal Necklace infusion, and optionally Depth Strider 7. Yes, you're going to need 3 Zal Necklaces, and that means you'll need to fight the Faceless boss 3 times. But Corruption is a key part of this build, and without the Corruption, your DPS will take a hit. If you don't have all the components of this build early on, don't worry, because all builds begin somewhere. And you're going to generally start with the beginner frost robes and whatever sword you can craft or find that will be able to cast spells. Just make sure you take the time to craft hardening catalysts later on so all your gear is protected. Now, you should have enchanted armor and a tome. Next, we are on to the most important bit: weapons. The weapons you'll use before you get your artifact weapon are called the Glacial Gladius. You are going to be dual wielding. You can craft them by crafting the Frost Spellblade with an iron sword, 2 snowballs, another quartz, and a prismarine crystal. Remember, you're going to need 2 of them. Then, with a Frost Spellblade crafted, you can craft the Glacial Gladius with a Frost Rune and a Rune Frost Ingot. On both of the Glacial Gladiuses, you're going to want the enchants Echo 4, Sharpness 6, Smite 6, Spell Haste 6, Spell Power 6, and Spell Infinity. For the artifact weapon, this build recommends Frostmourne. Not only does it look cool, but it's an absolute beast. And if you follow this guide, you'll find you can reach insane DPS and look amazing while doing it. The enchants that are must-haves for Frostmourne are Ambush 1, Echo 4, Sharpness 6, Smite 6, Spell Haste 5, Spell Power 5, and Spell Infinity. Optionally, you can add Leeching 4, or you can swap out Echo for Radiance 2 if you need more HP management. Bling Bling, accessories, charms, and items for survivability are next. An Invisibility charm or a Regeneration 2 charm, if you're struggling with health management, are key. Don't forget to use a hardening catalyst so they don't break. They are simply crafted from 3 of their respective potions and 6 blaze powder. The regeneration potions are crafted with an awkward potion and a gas tier, and that makes a regen pot, and adding those back into the brewing stand with a glowstone dust makes regeneration 2 potions. The invisibility potions are made from night vision potions and a fermented spider eye. Night vision potions are made from awkward potions and a golden carrot, and they need to be thrown back into the brewing stand with redstone dust. Your jewelry for this build is the Glacial Shard Necklace and 2 Permafrost Stone Rings. Remember, these are found in the end, in chests, towers, ships, or possibly in dungeons, but only in the end. These increase your DPS tenfold, so while the hunt for them may take you a while, I promise it will be worth it. You will also want an Undying Soul, which is crafted with 5 gold ingots, a gas tier, and a Totem of Undying. It takes 30% damage and makes it into health for you for over 4 seconds. 2 Turtle Bracers are also key. These will stack, and they're very easy to make. With a 60% chance to reduce oncoming damage by 35% when you're hit, these will add to your survivability so much. You'll also need running shoes or Usain Bolt socks. I recommend the socks as they are craftable, and gleaming ore is found where a stone meets deep slate. You can make them faster by combining them with more gleaming powder and a potion of swiftness. I also recommend the novelty drinking hat and feeding upgrade for your backpack. These are key for auto-eating and drinking quickly when you're getting damaged, so you don't have to stop to heal, and they give you a ton of survivability in a fight. The Blaze Backpack or Magnacube Backpack will give you fire resistance. Frost is weak to fire, but overall strong, kind of like a rock, paper, scissors situation. I also love the Creeper Backpack. To bring the refrigerator build to life, you'll need to take the right path through your skill tree. Start by selecting the Frozen Knowledge node. This is your entry point into the Frost Mage build. From there, work your way upward, making sure to grab every Frost Power node along the way. These will give you the core boosts to your Frost damage output that make this build hit like a truck. Keep climbing the tree until you reach the Critical Thinking node. This will reduce spell damage but increase crit damage, which works really well with Corruption. Once you've unlocked Critical Thinking, shift left and pick up Empower and Attunement. These passives synergize and work really well with your spell setup and provide a solid boost to your spell damage in combat. Make sure you also pick up the Frost Archmage Fate. This passive is a game changer for your damage scaling, and don't forget to grab Cataclysm active ability. Cataclysm is your big nuke, and it's key for burst damage during boss fights or large mob packs. After that, fill out the rest of your skill points by grabbing any remaining Frost power nodes you may have missed. As you find yourself with extra points, you're going to be investing in fire power nodes, and that's actually a really smart move as it builds spell critical chance. These nodes help push your DPS even further, so don't worry, they're not a waste. Once you've crafted Frostmourne as your artifact weapon, you'll gain access to its artifact skill tree. This is where damage really starts to scale up. To get the most out of your weapon, follow this upgrade path. First, take the 5% Frostmourne damage node twice in a row. These give you a strong, flat boost to all damage dealt by Frostmourne. Next, grab the plus 10% attack speed followed by another plus 5% damage dealt, then add plus 10% attack speed and one more plus 5% damage dealt. Finally, finish with Frozen Infusion, which increases your damage based on how much corruption you have. This node is the real kicker for this build and plays perfectly into the high corruption setup you're running with the Zal necklaces. By the time you finish this tree, Frostmourne will not only swing fast, but it will hit harder with every ounce of corruption. Now you're cool, calm, and ready to combo. Now that you have your spells unlocked and your build set up, let's go over how to actually use them in combat. Each of your core abilities has a unique purpose in your rotation, and mastering when to cast what is what turns a decent Frost Spellblade into the Refrigerator. Your book has 4 spells and then your active ability, which is Cataclysm. The first spell is Frost Overdrive. This is your spammable AoE burst. It casts a frost explosion around you, dealing 59.7 to 280.9 frost damage in a 6-block radius. The cast time and cooldown are the same at 0.7 seconds, so you'll always have this up basically all of the time. Use this often to keep pressure on your enemies around you, especially when you're right in the middle of a fight. Riptide is the next one. Think of this as your mobility tool. It launches you forward like a trident with Riptide, giving you quick repositioning, escape, or gap-closing power. This is excellent when in combination with Cataclysm, and it's really great for darting in, dodging attacks, or dashing out after using Massacre or Blade Flurry. The cast time is 0.3 seconds, and its range is 3 blocks. Massacre is the next, and it's your high-impact execute. You go intangible and rapidly strike the nearest enemy 5 times over a second, dealing 37.8 physical damage and then 83.5 to 421.3 frost damage per hit. If you kill the target before the final hit, you'll automatically move on to the next enemy. You'll also gain +1 haste and strength for every 4 frost power you have, making this even stronger as you progress. The cast time is 3.5 seconds, and the range is 8 blocks, and the cooldown is 8.3 seconds. This is used to melt high-priority enemies or chain through clustered mobs. Finally, you have Blade Flurry. This is your big sustained damage ability. It causes you to swing wildly your weapon, unleashing a barrage of ricocheting frost blades that deal 134.3 to 631.3 frost damage per second. The cast time is 4.2 seconds, the range is 12 blocks, and the cooldown scales with usage. It takes longer if you spam it. So it's best used during boss fights or waves of enemies when you can stand still and unload. You combine it with Cataclysm for a massive burst damage. Finally, Cataclysm is essentially your ultimate ability, a high-impact, high-risk, high-reward spell that can devastate everything in front of you when timed right. When you cast Cataclysm, you lock yourself in place and channel a barrage of powerful comets that crash down in a line ahead of you. The spell scales off your highest frost spell power stat, and the channel lasts 3.5 seconds. The cooldown is 70 seconds. The more corruption you have, the faster the comets fall, essentially cranking up your damage per cast. If you're carrying 30 plus corruption, every comet summoned also grants you a stack of Spellforged, which grants plus 0.25 to all spell power per stack. This spell turns you into a living artillery cannon. The only trade-off is you're rooted during the channel, so make sure you're in a safe location. This is my suggested rotation flow. Start with Riptide, which is your 3rd spell, to engage an enemy or reposition yourself. Then you drop Frost Overdrive, which is number 2, immediately for fast AoE pressure. After that, cast Massacre, which is 4, on a priority target to chain kills and trigger haste and strength. Use Blade Flurry, which is 5. Once enemies are grouped or stunned, repeat Frost Overdrive, which is 2, and weave in Riptide 3 to stay mobile. And finally, use your Cataclysm, which is R, as your nuke when your cooldowns are up. And there you have it. the refrigerator in all of its icy glass cannon glory. You're now fully equipped to zoom around like a frosty menace, exploding mobs with frozen ricocheting blade projectiles, and rain down comets like you're personally offended by warm weather. Welcome to the Ice Age. Make sure you don't forget to say hello to the bosses. Ice to meet you, now it's time to chill out. Or, my sword may be frozen, but my crits are fire. Just kidding, they're ice. Or, if that's too wordy, you can always just shout, freeze! If you've got questions, ideas, or you just feel like saying hi, make sure you drop a comment below. I'll be lurking. Want to meet other chill players, theory crafters, or just flex your gear? Come hang out in the Lunapixel Studios Discord. We're all in there making dumb puns, flexing our builds, and occasionally crying over horrible RNG together. And hey, if this guide helped you hit things a little bit harder, or helped you stay alive longer than 6 seconds in boss battles, or at least helped you die in funnier ways, smash that subscribe button like it's the faceless boss standing between you and your third necklace. Subscribe so you don't miss future builds, tips and tricks, and mental breakdowns. There's plenty more chaos where that came from. Until next time, keep your corruption high, your armor fully enchanted, and your socks speedy.